Hello, everyone. My name is Ernest Adamo. I am a graduate student at Grand Canyon University, pursuing my master's in special education degree. My goal is to become a high school special education teacher here at Washoe County School District in Reno, Nevada. And today I want to talk about some of the roles that special education teachers need to fulfill in advancing their profession, some of the dispositions of special education teachers, as well as how do biases come into play as a teacher and how we can address those biases. So first of all, the primary role of a special education teacher is obviously the learner and their needs. Special education students have different learning needs, so the special education teacher needs to be able to adapt curriculum in a way that is appropriate for those learning needs and those differences, whether it be in an inclusive general classroom where students need to take in the general standards in a different way. The special education teacher needs to adapt the instruction in a way that meets the needs of that student. Or in a self-contained classroom, the teacher needs to create curriculum that is particular to the student's needs and what goals they have as far as learning different behaviors or skills. The special education teachers need to also continuously be revising their own practice by taking data on these learning differences, and need to be changing their own way of instruction or how they set up a classroom as it is necessary, and constantly be taking in that data and constantly be communicating with the students. And also, it's very important for a special education teacher to show professionalism in communication. Primarily, special education teachers will be consistently working with IEP teams, so it's important for teachers to know how to communicate well with families, general education teachers, school administrations, service providers, and anyone else who might be in the role of supporting their students' education. So those are some of the roles that special education teachers need to fulfill. Now, dispositions. Dispositions are the professional ethics of a teacher, basically the values of a teacher as they relate to their profession. Some of my dispositions that I will be bringing into my first year of teaching are an understanding of diversity. We have a lot of diversity here in Washoe County School District's population, and understanding that those differences may be very critical to how you teach a student. Another one of my big dispositions is the role of advocacy. Advocacy is a huge value to me as a special education teacher, because you're looking at students in high school who are going to be transitioning to community employment and community involvement. And as they become adults, you want to make sure that these students know how to speak for themselves and how to make their own decisions. So that is an absolutely critical skill for me to be teaching special education classrooms. One of the dispositions I would say I do need some help with are biases towards my views on education, and how that fits in with the larger education system. And taking care of those biases is something that I will need to work on going into the special education field, which brings us to biases. So biases can be very hard. Everyone has biases towards how they look at things, and every teacher is going to go in with their own view of how they think that they should be teaching. However, the problem with these biases is that it can prevent us from looking at learning through the eyes of our students, because we see things one way, but our students see them a completely different way. So the problem with our biases is that they may filter out very critical information needed to properly get a student to understand material. So it's very important to leave those biases at the door, and to basically have an open mind to the various different possibilities of how we can be properly educating students. So those are just some of my quick, brief thoughts. Um, if you, I'd like to, if you're looking into getting into education or special education or general education, I highly encourage you to be thinking about these things as well. Your values, what you think your role would be, as well as what your own biases are to learning, and bring that into reflection as you look into entering the teaching profession. So I want to thank you all for watching today, and let me know if there's anything that you think about what I have to say. Have a great day.